Good morning, grade 11. So unfortunately, I drew this beautiful drawing for you guys on page 82. And then somewhere throughout the video, my phone stopped recording. So I'm going to slowly, step by step, explain to you how I did this. So this is on my memo for you guys as well. Okay. So the first thing I did was I drew my hexagon. Now, I put my needle, I measured 32 because the length is 32, put my needle point in the middle and I drew my circle. But now you'll see that the hexagon is drawn at a 15-degree angle. Now, sometimes you'll be like, ma'am, how the heck? A little tip I have is use your different set squares and measure on the given view to see what will work. Okay, so let's use our 30-60 because 30-60 is usually hexagons, and we'll see. Ooh, okay, if I get that corner, no, that's not right. None of those sides, no. Okay, so it's not 30. Let's try 60. No, definitely not 60. Let's take our 45-degree set square. Why 45? Because this is 15. So that should give you a little bit of a hint that 45 might work. And if we line it up there, we see nicely. It goes in the middle and it gives us those points for 45. So all I did was I lined it up with S. I drew my 45-degree line, center line. Then I put my needle point where the center line crossed the circle. I made the mark all around, and I drew my hexagon. Okay. Then instead of drawing the auxiliary view on my front view, I drew it here by my top view. It doesn't matter. You can do either or. So I just here on the side, I took the 38, halved it, which is 19, not 16. I got it right this time. Drew my circle, drew my square around it. Then I pulled my lines to the side. They tell us, and this is quite important to note, that from the center of the hexagon, from S to the end of where the square is 50. So I just measured 50 up till that point, and I drew in the square using these guidelines, obviously coming from the auxiliary view. Okay. Then I drew in my axis with my 45-degree line. Why on this side though? Because if you go and read the instructions, it tells us that they're asking for a right view. And because this is first angle orthographic projection, your right view is drawn on the left. So there's top, front, right. This would have been left. Okay, so that's why the 45-degree line is on this side. So I drew my axis in. Then I pulled my lines up from my hexagon and I drew my hexagon on my front view, exactly like they gave us. Then I drew my lines up from my square. Now, this is something that some of you struggled with yesterday. You didn't know what this distance is over here. Now, very important, I'm quickly going to show you yesterday's drawing. So, the question was, what's this distance? How do you get that distance? Now, if you remember correctly from transition drawings, we had true lengths and then other lengths. So true lengths is how long that line is actually. But remember, guys, we're drawing in 2 dimensions. So if you look at this hexagon, if we're looking from this side in 2 dimensions, remember this line is going to look like a normal straight line to us. So even though the true length of the side of the hexagon is 22 millimeters. When we're drawing it in 2 dimensions and it becomes a straight line, it's not necessarily going to be 22 millimeters. So all I did was I drew a guideline up and then I measured that straight distance, which is not the true length because we're drawing in 2 dimensions. And that is that 18.5 that I was talking about that I then marked off over there. Okay, I hope this makes a little bit more sense. So technically, it's the across flat that you're measuring because from the one side of the hexagon to the other side of the hexagon is called the across flat. So because flat 2D. So from 1 straight till 3 would have been that length as well. Okay, so you could have done it that way around as well, just for those the few that were struggling a little bit. So the same thing over here. You're not going to use the side length, so we're not going to use 38. We're going to use the across flat. So the across flat is going to be this length. Or you could have just measured, because I drew this auxiliary view and this view already, I just put my needle point on 1 and measured to 2, and then marked off that distance. So basically all I did was I drew this line up, and then I marked this distance off. Like that. They do tell us from the bottom, from the base, it's 34 millimeters to get the middle. So I actually measured from the middle down and from the middle up to get these distances to be the same over here. And I just drew my guidelines in because obviously I've not done my curve of interpenetration just yet. Okay. Then what I did was I projected my lines to the side, and I projected my lines to the side up to draw my side view. So this is easy. Remember, I numbered as well, A, B, C, D, E, F, and I numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So I pulled my numbers through, and I used the numbers over here to match it up, and I drew my side view. Okay. Now for the curve of interpenetration, I'm going to do this very slowly because I really want you to focus because this is important. So remember, when we do the curve of interpenetration, we're looking from the front. So we're going to start at the front and work our way towards the back. So we're starting with point number 4. After 4, we're going to do B. After B, we're going to do 1 and 3. After 1 and 3, we're going to do A. And after A, we're going to do 2. So I drew up my construction line for 4. B is already there. I drew up my construction line for 1 and 3. A is already there. And I drew up my construction line for 2. Okay, now we start with 4. So I drew up my construction line with 4. I followed number 4, and I made 4 meet 4, and I made a little dot there, and I wrote 4. Then after 4, we've got B. Now, if you look here, you'll see that B cuts in between 1 and 4 and 3 and 4. Now, if we look at our side view, we can actually see it quite nicely. Look here. B cuts in between 1 and 4 and 3 and 4. There's B, there's B. So I pulled where B cuts my side view, I've pulled it through to the side, and I've made it cut on B and on B, and then I just labeled it. So I made a little dot and I made a little dot. So where B cuts the square, I pulled it through and I made it cut on line B, those 2 points. Okay, I'm just making points for now. We're not connecting just yet. We'll connect right at the end. So after B, we've got 1 and 3. So I pulled up my line for 1 and 3. And I made it cross with line 3, and I made it cross with line 1. Now A, similar to B, cuts in between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. Let's have a look. Cuts in between 1 and 2, and it cuts in between 2 and 3. So I pulled where A cuts to the side, and I made my mark where A cuts on line A. Okay. After A, I've got 2, then I've pulled 2 up, and I made it cross with 2. I made my little dot. Okay, now the next step is very important. We now need to start connecting. So obviously we're going to connect from 4 to B, from B to 1 and 3, from 1 and 3 to A, and from A to 2. But the important thing is we need to see what is going to be hidden detail. Now, very important. Remember, this is our right view. So we're technically looking from this side to see what we're seeing, because remember we're seeing line 4 first, so we're seeing 4 first, so we're looking from this direction. Okay, now if you imagine this square sticking out here, now it's sticking out. Do you guys agree with me? You can see point 4. If you had to basically project little lines here, you'll definitely see where B cuts. We can see them. If you had to project 1 and 3 to the sides, yes, we can definitely see where 1 and 3 cut. But now, because remember, this thing, a square, is standing out like this, do you guys see that A, where A cuts, is sitting behind it? It's sitting behind where the square is sticking up. So we won't be able to see A, and we won't be able to see 2 because it's blocking our view. So all the lines from 1 to A, and A to 2, and 3 to A, and A to 2 will be hidden detail. So now we're going to connect. So we're going to start with point number 4, connected to B. So I took my ruler, I took point number 4, and I connected it to B, and I connected it to B. So it's basically 4 to B, 4 to B. After B, we've got 1 and 3. So I took my ruler, I connected it from B to 1 and B to 3. Now after 1 and 3 we go to A, but now remember that's going to be hidden detail. So from 3 we went to A with hidden detail, and from 1 we went to A with hidden detail. Then from A we go to 2 and it's also hidden detail. So from A I connected to 2, hidden detail. From A I connected to 2, hidden detail. And that is your curve of interpenetration, guys. Just important, remember line 1, 1 will be a solid line, because remember we can see 1, 1 sticking out here, we can see 3, 3 sticking out here, and we can see 4, 4 sticking out here. 2, 2 we won't be able to see, but it sits behind 4, 4, so it doesn't matter, we don't have to show that hidden detail. So we'll just draw in that hidden detail line, which is in any case given to us on our front view, and make sure all the other lines are also hidden detail. Now for your side view, important. Some of you will be like, man, but which lines are hidden detail? Now remember, we're looking from the right. We're looking from the right, from this direction, because it's our right view. Do you guys see that E and D sits at the back? We won't be able to see it. F will see, A will see, B will see, C will see, but E and D sits at the back, so we won't be able to see them. That's why E and D is hidden detail. Okay, so this is up till the point where I got. I hope that makes sense. Please stop and pause if there's anything that you're unsure about. And please also send me questions if this doesn't make sense. I do apologize about that. Okay, now, if you go and read your instructions, it says they develop the surface of the square prism. So only the small one. They don't ask us for the big one, which is quite cool. Makes life a little bit easier. So we're just going to develop the little pipe. So I'm just going to do it here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to draw the base to measure the square. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's cut it open on line 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, let's measure the length for 1 first. So needle point on the base. Measure to 1. Needle point on the base. Mark off 1. 3 is the same. And mark off the other one. Then let's do 4. Needle point on the base. Measure to 4. Needle point on the base. Mark off 4. And let's do the same for 2. Mark off 2. Now, don't forget about B and A. Okay, because we've got a side view, we can just go and measure here, which makes life a little bit easier. So let's start with B. Needle point on 1. Measure to B. Needle point on 1. Mark off B. Why am I marking it off here? Because it's in between point 1 and 4. In between 1 and 4. And then it's also in between 3 and 4. So I'm going to put it on 3, in between 3 and 4. And this is B. Then we also have to do the same for A. Needle point on 2. Measure to A. Needle point on 2. Mark off A. Needle point on 2. Mark off A. So that's A and A. Okay, then we're going to just draw that one up. Okay, then I'm going to just I'm going to use this view. I mean, you could have used this one as well for your, but I'm just going to use my top view, but you'll see it's exactly the same. I mean, you could literally actually just use it over here. So from the base to where A cuts is over there. So we're going to mark off A and A. And then from the base to where B cuts, make sure you've got a line there so that you measure accurately. You can mark off B and B. Okay, then we're just going to connect. Sorry about that noise, guys. Okay, so we're going to go from 1 to B, B to 4, to B, B to 3, 3 to A to 2, 2 to A, and A to 1. If you want to double check yourself, I'm going to show you now what to do. Okay, so let's start with 1 over here. We went from 1 to A, 1 to A to 2, A to 2, 2 to A to A to 3, A to 3, 3 to D, no, not 3 to D's, D's at the back, 3 to B, 3 to B, B to 4, B to 4, 4 to B, 4 to B, B to 1. Okay, so do you see you can like nicely follow it on here as well? And that is your development. And that, guys, is page 82. Page 82 is going to be your homework for today and tomorrow. I won't let you do it just for today because it is a little bit of a more difficult one. So I want you to really do it properly. So maybe do this part and the interpenetration today and then just do the development tomorrow. You can decide how you want to work your time out, and then I'll create an assignment for you to please upload page 81 and page 82. So both of those drawings need to be uploaded under the assignment, under the homework for me. Then on Friday, we're going to have our Q&A session for up to page 82. Okay, I hope that's fine with everyone. Please let me know if you need any help. Please just send me a message, and good luck. And then I'll chat to you guys on Friday. Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye.